is the Chief Exploration Officer of Departures Travel, and she also runs Niche Women's Tours. I'm talking to her today about the travel industry and COVID-19. We are having a bit of issue with sound, so I'm going to be muting her while I'm talking and vice versa. So it may come across a little choppy. Just forgive me while we just figure it all out. So welcome, Cathy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And how is the travel industry?
Oh, it's just fun and games. Obviously, we are one of the industries that's been hardest hit by what's going on with this, and my business is no exception. It's pretty much chaos. I think things have settled down a little bit in the last week or so, but we've been super busy, believe it or not. But it's certainly not busy making bookings and making money, but it's busy.
So, what are you doing with your clients right now?
Well, the last month, basically, we have been helping our clients get home from various locations around the world in the safest and quickest way possible, educating them on how they can recoup some of their travel investment through insurance or travel credits or whatever is available to them. And then, of course, anything that's close to now, we've been unbooking. And a lot of people are just moving their bookings further into the future. So instead of going, this spring, they'll be going next spring, or this fall, they're going some other time. So it's been super, super busy, just kind of pivoting for us right now.
Everybody's using that word. It's very interesting to me. I'm just wondering what is happening at the destination. So I'm thinking of the small towns that you go to and the people who you meet, your travel operators, people like that.
Yeah, it's brutal. Honestly, it's brutal for them. It's tough. It's tough. Their businesses have fallen off as many of ours have overnight. Thankfully for us in Canada, we have great resources, but certainly around the world, it's not like that for everyone. And we are having daily conversations with people around the world at location, at destination, to see how they're doing. And yeah, it's tough. They're hopeful for things getting better, moving forward at some point, but it's not going to be, certainly not today.
Are you connecting with them and your potential travelers at all? Are you doing any special programs so that people still are interested in traveling when COVID-19 finishes? Like, personally, I see this going on in Canada at least for a few more weeks. I was just talking to realtors across the world, actually, and there seems to be very varied response in how it's being handled elsewhere. So, what are you finding?
For sure. You can see the variety. Canada's been handling it extremely well. You can see the variety in other destinations that are not. So, I think with travel, it is going to change for sure. And we saw the same thing. I think I mentioned to you before, I was in travel school when 9/11 hit. So, all of a sudden it was another pivot point in history, and everything changed in the travel business. So all of a sudden, when you went to an airport, there was higher security levels, and everything. You could no longer ride up in the front with the captain and enjoy the view out of the front of the cockpit and all that stuff, right? So it's going to change again, and what that looks like, we don't really know. I mean, I sort of foresee possibly there will be testing at the gates and that sort of thing for fevers and making sure people are safe. And I think. I honestly think for our business, it's going to be a boom, but we not immediately for sure. But people are going to be looking for a lot more safe alternatives, and knowing that there's someone on the ground that is watching out for them and whatnot, I think will be very helpful for us. But again, nothing soon is going to be happening.
One of the things our realtors have told me is they thought there might be a movement of people towards less crowded spaces, so moving out of cities. Are you finding that in the travel industry as well?
Absolutely. I think, our business has been more geared toward travelers than tourists anyway. So most of our clients really are off the beaten track people. They're highly experienced travelers. And they're going to continue traveling, no question. They're already asking us, when can we go? But they're ones that kind of want that off the beaten path experience anyway. So we've got lots of great options for them when the time comes. It's just, again, not now. And so in the meantime, what we're doing is just keeping in touch. We've got our new Departures Lounge travel show online that we've been doing, which has been going really well.
Tell me about
and
what is
well,
that?
it's meant to be. It's called Departures Lounge, and it's meant to be sort of all things fun and light and happy in the world of travel. So we're not spending a lot of time talking about COVID. But we do, if we obviously talk a little bit about it because it's right in front of our face. But for an example, tomorrow night, we do it at 4:00 on Thursdays because most people are home anyway now, right? And so we've got a gentleman coming on, and he deals in sustainable tourism. So the whole topic will be sustainable tourism. And what's really exciting is that he's bringing on a tour guide that is who would be our tour guide if we sent a group or sent people down to Colombia. And he's going to tell us about his experience with getting out of basically the drug trade down there. Not that he was in it, but that's sort of what they were known for.
Right.
And how tourism has become one of their number one sources of income, and how that looks for them as a very sustainable product. So it's pretty cool.
So you use two different words. One is tourist and the other is traveler. What's the difference?
Well, everybody's a traveler in a way, but people that are more tourist oriented, and we of course have clients that I do touristy things sometimes. It's more the fly and flop to Mexico, I guess you'd call it that, or the travel that is more well known. And where a true traveler is somebody who isn't looking for everything to be soft and cushy. They want to actually go experience the destination for its authentic self. So it would be like somebody coming to Victoria. Your typical tourist would pop in and they'd go to the Empress, which is lovely, and they go to Butcher Gardens. And that's kind of, the classic tourist maneuver, where a traveler would come here and they would want to meet the locals, and they'd want to go in the little hidden gems and go to the places that the local people do. So more that sort of thing.
Right. Immerse themselves.
Yes. And learn something. They typically are highly educated and they want to learn about the area. It might be the politics. It might be we have a lot of foodies, so it might be food and wine. It could be the culture. It's Vancouver Island's well known for the Indigenous culture. So there's all of those things around the world that we expose people to.
Just a technical question. Do you have another Facebook window open on your computer?
You're asking me? I do not. I'm just on my phone.
Okay. Wondering if that's the cause of that. Okay.
No.
So let me ask you a question. When somebody goes to another city, what do you think is the first thing that they should do? I was thinking maybe a food tour, because then they get to meet a local and they taste the food and they hear the stories about the different restaurants they visit.
I totally agree. So you stole my line. That's what I do. If I'm traveling somewhere, even if it's not somewhere new, I seek out a great food tour, and we've got all sorts of options for that. But for me, it's the best way to learn about a country, a culture, and even a city, for sure.
Okay, so in Departures Lounge, you're your guest in our company.
We have a gentleman named Ashish. He's actually the founder. Well, not his dad's the founder. He's the owner of Big 5 Tours and Safaris. And it's a company that really deals with sustainable tourism around the globe, really does a lot of work in Africa and as well as in South America. He does a number of other destinations, but very much their focus is those things. And then he is bringing his tour guide, Leon, who is from Colombia. So that'll be fun. There's 2 of us from Victoria and then, around the globe. Yeah. Delightful, both of them.
What will he be talking about? What's the
about the
format
benefits? Yeah, about the benefits of sustainable tourism and what that means. So, when you look right now, and you asked earlier about the impact that the lack of tourism is having on small villages and the small purveyors of travel around the globe. He's really in the know about that because they seek out the real local people that they work with. So, and they also do a lot of work around building schools, wells, that sort of thing. So they really do have deep roots in communities that they work with.
Okay, and then, do you think so let's say things we're looking 3 or 4 months down the line. Is the cost of traveling gonna be less expensive because they may be trying to entice people to leave their home countries, or what do you think is gonna happen?
I think it will be. I think, air travel, hard to say. That could go up because there's going to be less load. But I see, cruising for sure is going to have some sales.
Mhm.
I know a lot of the tour companies and the cruise lines that we work with that have already had people booked, and the reality is this has hit everybody in the world, but it's hit the tour and travel industry super hard. So they're trying to retain those bookings, even if it means moving them further down the road. So some of the enticements that we've seen have been, instead of getting your money back, they'll give you 125% toward a future trip. So you can either get, if it's a cruise, you can go to a higher category, or you can do something longer and that sort of thing. So they're being very creative. And I see that continuing for a while because consumer confidence is low.
Right.
But people we're getting people daily saying, oh my gosh, I just want to get away. And I'm feeling it too. I'm not used to being home this long. I'm like, oh my gosh, when can I go?
I saw you post something the other day about being at home.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I love my home. I have a beautiful garden, and it's great, but I'm not often home for extended periods of time. And I don't know how long I've been home now, but it's been well over a month, and that's unusual for me.
well, you're in the right industry, right?
You bet.
Okay, so people navigating insurance terms right now, what's the process for that? So people who have paid for a trip and it got canceled due to COVID-19, is that a natural phenomenon, or how is that covered by insurance?
Well, that's a broad question because it depends on what kind of insurance you have. So there's credit card insurance. There's different insurance providers. We work with a company called Manulife Insurance, and strategically because I believe that they're the best in the industry. If you had booked your trip with us and you booked something with Manulife Insurance and it was purchased prior to March 4th, I believe it is, and it was a case where the trip was canceled or whatever, then we would work with you and help you get your money either back, or if you want to take the future travel credit, we'd get help with that. So it's a process, and it's not as simple as it used to be because the rules are changing daily around it.
Right.
So yeah, it's been, we just had a huge conference call about it today. So it's a time that I think the value of working with an agent community or travel advisor community really shows itself, because we are
Yeah.
spending a lot of time on behalf of our clients, getting everything we can for them.
Right. And I think, it's something where the longer you're in the business, the longer you're able to weather this because you understand you're gonna come out the other side, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no question there's going to be fallout. All businesses are going to have some losses, and businesses closing. Mine won't be one of them. But yeah, it's not fun right now. This isn't the happy place. But it's, we're busy getting stuff ready for when we're busy again. And that's, or when we're busy booking things. We're busy already, but when we're actually selling travel again.
So I just got a text message from my assistant that I'm echoing. Yes, I know that. Give me the top 3 places you think you would travel to, let's say, as of September on.
That you would travel to, or anybody would travel to? Where would I travel to? Well, I'm planning on going in November to Machu Picchu, and as well as Galapagos. So, and then in January to the Antarctica. So those are my top 3.
Well, I hear Antarctica is free of COVID-19.
Yes. And people, so yeah, I don't think they should have a lot of it down there. Yeah.
And what about in country? I'm assuming that there's gonna be a shift to people to move in country. that right?
You bet. You bet. I mean, Canada is brilliant, right? There's so much to see and do in Canada. We're going to have one of our upcoming Departures Lounge shows just on, and we're not selling travel on that show, by the way. We're just showcasing different unique things. We'll do one on Canada because there are so many wonderful hidden gems in our own country to go to. I went up to Yellowknife, it must have been a year ago now, and just blown away by how beautiful it was, and the aurora borealis, northern lights, the indigenous culture, the food, and the people were just so great. The art up there too, I was really blown away by. So we've got all these pockets of wonderfulness that we can explore even in our own country while we're waiting for the
I've
borders
got
to
a
open.
guy, an awesome tour guide for Yellowknife. They lived up there for years, and he's a great photographer. He's in Victoria now, but he would be amazing. If you need a guide up there, let me know.
Okay.
And okay, so Yellowknife, where else? What about Quebec City?
I mean, yeah, look at just our cities alone. Or, again, I was in New Brunswick earlier. I guess, again, it was last year, and I had never been. It was just beautiful. So we've got east to west. There's so much. There's the Rocky Mountaineer, if you wanted to have a little luxury train trip, which is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot, and there's the Haida Gwaii. I usually do an annual kayaking tour on the island. This year I'm scheduled to go to Spring Island, which is a remote little island off of, well, I can't even tell you where it's off of. It's way north of Tofino, and then from there we take an hour, and it's in a little. We go to a little fishing village, and then from there we take an hour water taxi out to Spring Island. So, and it's luxury camping. So they have full tents, and last year we had a beautiful German chef cooking for us, and kayaking all day, and beautiful tents with cots, and we have sheets. It's not like we're roughing it. And so they even have a solar shower so you can be clean. So that, there's stuff like that we have in Canada that's just amazing. And of course there'll be Tofino will be opening back up at some point. We've got stuff right here on the island. So I think people will do some travel close to home this year, which is great. It helps our local economy and moves some money around.
Awesome. Well, one of my goals is to go to Newfoundland. So if you have a trip going there, I'd love to be able to go on that. And I have gone on your kayaking trips, and they were amazing. I did not smooth it the way you were talking, and I was in a tent to snore, so I've learned my lesson.
We've graduated up a little bit.
Okay, well, awesome. Sounds like there's a lot going on. Do you want to give us some information about your event tomorrow? I'll just put it up here.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear you that well. I think you were asking me about my event tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to be, if you go to the Departures Travel Victoria Facebook page, we'll be going live tomorrow for the first time. We generally do it on Zoom, which we are tomorrow as well, but we're going to be doing it on Zoom and then broadcasting it live onto our Facebook page there. So if you just go up onto our live section, you'll find it there.
At what time?
4:00. It's usually about half an hour. Ashish is, and as is Leon, are quite chatty, so it could end up being a little longer, but it'll be very entertaining. They're both amazing guys.
Okay, and last question. Do you find being in your business that you can make friends around the world through the work that you're doing with locals?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Are you making friends around the world with these tour guides? Is that one of the unexpected benefits of travel?
Oh, it sure is. Yeah, it really is. I mean, a lot of the tours that I personally lead are longer duration. And so, I mean, I met the most amazing woman in Bhutan when I took a group there about a year and a half ago. And her name is Chimi. And she is the first tour guide ever crowned as a female tour guide in Bhutan. And she was a single mother who adopted her brother's kids and ended up raising, I believe it was 6 kids by herself in Bhutan. I mean, just an amazing woman, Buddhist. And so we've stayed friends. We chat over Facebook, and I met a wonderful Indian guide in India, obviously, and him and his wife ended up coming here. And I actually sponsored them to come here. So yes, you make really good lifelong friends, and then I know when my clients go back that they're taken care of as well, which is really wonderful.
Awesome. Okay, well, if you want more information about Departures Travel, you can visit their Facebook page tomorrow night at 4 p.m. and learn what Cathy's doing in her Departures Lounge. I'm sure that'll be lots of fun. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. with their Zoom link. You just have to sign up on the page, and she'll be in touch with you with the link to the show. And if you want more information about what's happening in Victoria with real estate, contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. And coming up, we're going to have more speakers this week. So tune in at 4:30 to our Facebook Live and see what we're doing. We are connecting with business owners and entrepreneurs about how they're coping with COVID-19. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great day.